Good evening, everyone. I, Gaurav Mandal, Associate Professor, Pearl Academy, welcome everybody who is present here in this webinar to have a constructive dialogue on impact of the 12th board deferred dates due to the resurgence of COVID pandemic all over India again. So this webinar is conducted by the Education India, also known as EDIN. EDIN is an online educational platform that believes in strengthening Indian education around the social, economic, and cultural aspects and becoming transformative partners for nurturing Indian communities. We have got three distinguished panelists here. The first one is Ayush Nambiar, who is a class 12 student from Modern School Barakhamba. He's aiming to be a lawyer, and we can often see him voicing out his opinions on national news channels. And our second distinguished panelist is Swati Gaur, a postgraduate in Human Development and Childhood Studies from University of Delhi. Swati is a practicing special educator and has experience of over 10 years of working with children and with different abilities. She enjoys working with younger kids and truly believes that fun learning is practically possible. Our third distinguished panelist is Mr. Iqbal Singh, who has an experience of 39 years of teaching mathematics to senior secondary students. So my first question is for Ayush. Ayush, I want to know what is the impact of this deferred date that has been just announced by government for class 12 board exams?
See, we are going through a situation that none of us have ever been prepared for. For the past 1 year, everything that has been happening has been very uncertain with regarding anything and everything. Now, when it comes to us, the students, we have been in the same class for now 14 months. 14 months we have been preparing for a single exam. The next 2 months, now we are further supposed to wait to know whether we will have any exams or not. Now, we need to understand that this is nothing but a sense of mockery to us, the students, and our futures at stake, and the entrances will be postponed. Foreign admissions are being postponed. You don't know how foreign, whether for example, if I have got acceptance from a college on my predicted results, I'm supposed to submit my my board exam result by I think June or July. That is the time when most colleges take your actual board results. When will we give those results? That means that unnecessarily the deserving students will also be partitioned. They will not be allowed to be going to a university they prepared for. There's been a major issue. First, 30%, the timeline says 30% of our syllabuses were cut. We were very happy, we were relieved that nothing happened. So this much of sincerity we have been shown, and we have been shown this much of concern regarding our board exams. Now we are not prepared till the time we do not have offline classes. I think Iqbal sir will agree with me. Till the time we do not have effective offline classes, till that time, how are we prepared to go and give offline exams? How are we going to give a board exam, physical pen and paper exam? For me, it will be my first time. If I have a lot of schools have also conducted offline pre-boards. My school was, we were giving our pre-boards, and right in the middle of it, again the COVID fear spike, number of cases rise, and now the cases have been, now we are not allowed to go and give our pre-boards. There's no practice, there's nothing. There's a sense of fear about our future. There's a sense of insecurity. There's this anxiousness whether the boards will happen, or will I be wasting another 2 months, because it will be the last 14, 15, 16 months will be a complete waste if the boards are now cancelled. There's another question, if how will I be, suppose there's a student who's going to a university that only takes board results, then how are we, how will we separate the stronger minded and the or somebody who was getting 98 is now being shown 93. There's a lot of confusion that even for me to analyze is impossible. I am asking this one question now, which in this platform, I'm really thankful I'm having this platform to question. Why are we not looking at a better education system? Why not a better way to measure our intelligence or our creativity? Because those are very important aspects of education. We are not prepared. COVID is just yeah. One of my recent debates on a news channel, I said, yeah, aar ya par, either give the exams now. COVID is not going anywhere 2 months from now on. Also, we don't know if COVID is going to be there. We'll just end up wasting our times, or cancel it. Because either ways, you need to get us through this stuff. There's this tough time. We have honestly no clarity at the moment, and that is the big concern.
Thank you, Ayush. I think that was quite strongly spoken. And if I can make out what you're saying, it's about the information chaos. I think the information is still not clear to students. Board exam is just one nail of it, but there are a lot of other things that needs to be discussed with students. Of course, students who are preparing for professional exams, what is the information on that front? So I get that. And I also heard a beautiful part that you said Arya Par. What do you mean by that? Can you explain? Ayush, your mic is on mute.
By our par, exactly what I was meaning. Our par means that either just pass us, either just give us because I have seen, I saw this interview of a teacher. And she said that we have had effective online classes. The students are very well prepared for the board examinations, and I was just like, okay, so you are expecting online classes and online exams are not okay, because that will involve mishappening, and the students will do wrong things. So you feel online classes were effective, but online exams won't be as effective? R and par simply means either just exams at current scenario or not. We don't know. The same scenario might be in June. In June also we might go through the same thing. Why keep us in this anxiousness? Because if in June they come up and tell us that, listen, I think it's okay, we can maybe let you have the board, we'll give you a result on the basis of your internal analysis of your school, whatever your school suggests, or on the basis of the practicals that you have given or the online exams you have given. The point is that either make sure that we go through these exams right now, or cancel them right now. The issue R and par simply means give us some clarity. If you're doing exams, do it right now or cancel them. There's no point in delaying it. There is no point.
All right, thank you, Ayush, for saying that, for elaborately letting us know what you mean by Arya Par. Either exams happen, or just cancel them, or they should just pass you, or they can cancel the exam. Iqbal sir, what is your perspective on this part? Because if you pass everybody, I think the whole system of getting absorbed into a professional college, there are a lot of colleges there who will just absorb you based on your board marks. Like we know about Delhi University. Swati has studied from there. She knows there is a stake off everywhere. So what is your perspective when Ayush is saying Arya Par?
First of all, I would like to say that the pandemic going all over the world is a serious thing and unprecedented. It has never happened. So nobody is actually 100% prepared for it. It is just an experiment we are coming across for the first time in the life. For example, when the schools were closed, they were closed for some small time. It was never expected that it will last so long. But as the situation changes from time to time, at one point we were very hopeful. The number of cases were so less that there was a light that we will be about to start the schools, and they were started for 10th and 12th. So in my first point is, there is always a hope on which we are depending. You know, in life, at whatever junction you are, there is always a hope on which everyone is taking decision. So government is taking decision. They are changing the stand from time to time according to the situation, and it is unprecedented. No one has this, because generally we have floods, we have some problem, but in particular part of country, not all over the India, not all over the world. So it is the first time we are facing this problem, and to meet this or to face it, we have come across and we have started online classes. As I have taken the whole session on online classes, I found it successful to the extent of 90 to 95%. I won't say it is 100% successful, but it is very, I have seen through the graph of my children, how it goes up and how they grasp the thing. It was 90 to 95% successful. So the a basic cause of the basic phenomena of studies is to gain the knowledge. And the second part of the story comes the examination. Examination is the part to segregate them from the different levels. At different levels, who is how high one is achiever, and on the basis of that, the admissions of the DU and other colleges are done. So definitely, one point the government and every institution, the board is taking, is that there should be an exam, because the difference between the percentages nowadays, the first list get cuts off at 99 or 98%. So it is really, really difficult otherwise to distinguish exactly between the students' merit. So one is keen that they should be board, but they tried to first postpone it, and now it is for 10th. It is decided that they will not be having the boards, and 10th is a small level where you can eliminate them. Fine, and they can be evaluated. I agree that they will not be given exact evaluation, but they will be given an approximate evaluation, because I feel the teachers are good enough, they are experienced enough to evaluate their children, and throughout the 1 year they evaluate them and they understand them, the depth, how much is one having, what is the depth of the subject they are having in the subject. So the approximation will do. And the fear of Gaurav is this Ayush is very much there, that staying in this dilemma for a very long time is really a difficult thing. It's really, he's very true and very correct on his part, because everybody when come across a problem, the first thing comes in his mind is that it should be over and out as soon as possible. Aar ya par. But in this case, the matter is so delicate. It is matter of future of every child. You know, on the one side there are extreme toppers, and there are one side the bottom line also. So one has to take all of them in the line, and everyone should be considered. If it comes to evaluation on the basis of their school internal examination, then even it will be for everyone. It will be for everyone. It will not be for one exceptional child or for other child. It will be approximation for all. And if for example, if one is scoring 98 or 99, instead that he scored 93, then it will be uniform for everyone, I believe so. So then the standards of the admissions will not be 98% cut off. It will be definitely down to 95 or 93 or 94%. So this is the situation we have to face. And I'm so very glad that in this pandemic, we have all learned to work from home, to learn from the online classes, and it is a real boon which I found, that there is no wastage of time, there is no expenditure of transportation. People are studying from one city to another city, and they can go to their best teacher. School teachers are also available, and I feel there are one negative point: there is no physical class. Except that there are many positive points have come out, and of course, online studies are very successful, and the need of exam, again, I'll repeat that it only segregate the minute difference of the level of achievement, which will be not possible without an exam. So that's why CBSE and government want that there should be an exam. But the way the things are going, we hardly have a hope ki it may turn positive. And if it turns, we will take the exam, otherwise not. But the dilemma that in the June it will be decided or the decision will be taken for 2 months, keep studying, studying. It is definitely little torture to the students. I agree.
Thank you so much, sir. I think there was a lot of insight that I got from your conversation, that because of this unprecedented situation, government is also taking steps very delicately, because even nobody is prepared. Now, students are not prepared, teachers are not prepared, government is not prepared, colleges are not prepared. They also don't know how they need to work on their process of absorbing students now. Because I teach in a college, and we also keep having those similar discussions. So here, I would invite our third panelist, Swati Gaur. Ma'am, there are two people now. The one panelist who is Ayush, who is at the receiving end, who's not very who's not very excited about online teaching, as well as online learning, as well as online exams. On other end, we have Iqbal sir, who's been delivering online exam, and he, as per his quote, it is quite effective. So we are getting both the polarities here, but both of them are agreeing that students are in that dilemma. Students are anxious, information is not clear. So what would you advise, you being a special educator, understanding the psychological part of student, what do you think is the actual impact in this last year that you can actually see in students now? And what would you advise them going forward, what they can be engaged with, so that they sail through amicably through the situation?
So first of all, thank you for inviting me. I would like to say that to both teacher and the students, teachers and students, that all of you are doing a great job. These are the testing times. And if we come out clean through this, if we manage to keep our sanity intact, despite the disheartening events all around us, and for many of us with us, trust me, we have won the battle. Now, this pandemic is definitely looming large. It has impacted everyone, and it has brought everyone down to their knees. But Gaurav, as adults, you and I can still talk about it. We do, with friends, with family. And most of the time, we are moving with the flow. The worst impacted are our children. They don't have words to describe their feelings and emotions. And talking about adolescence, this phase, adolescence phase itself is a transitional phase whereby children are going through a lot of changes in the different areas of development. The hormonal, the biological changes that are occurring, they can actually lead adolescents to feel anxious and self-conscious otherwise also. They require more privacy, and they become more preoccupied with their appearance, and because that influences how they are perceived and accepted in the society. So many parents would have seen that adolescents are spending hours and hours in front of the mirror, keeping doors closed, answering back, aggression, temper tantrums, trying new things. These are few of the changes most parents witness. But this is a part of adolescence, and we need to accept that. This pandemic is having a devastating impact on many of the young minds. What children are experiencing is far beyond our imagination. Like Ayush just put it down, for both the advantage and the disadvantage group. They're feeling anxious. They have some of them are having panic attacks. Friend's daughter is going through this phase where she's having panic attacks. They're losing motivation, and that hope for future, that this uncertainty ki aage kya hoga, is actually taking a toll on them. Now, some young people will be dealing with multiple pressures also, especially those who have lost their dear ones, or they are experiencing other traumatic experiences during this time. Talking about children from economically weaker backgrounds and from rural areas who might not have the facilities that we have in cities. You know, vulnerable adolescents who maybe took time to be a part of the regular school of mainstream schooling, who push themselves to be a part of mainstream education, are again at a risk of dropping out from school with, you know, uncertainty of future. Many parents might just get their teen daughters married off. You know, this is happening. Since we are living in cities, possibly we are not aware of it, but these things are happening. With spending too much time at home, adolescents might be witnessing what they shouldn't be. If they were to attend school, there might be a rift between parents and their children, right? Now, adolescence is a period when an individuality is, you know, formed, that individual's identity is formed. It's a very crucial time, this age group. The question that who am I majorly affects the child's identity when they are trying to find their own selves. Now, this question, who am I, along with, you know, this question coupled with where I stand now in terms of their progress and performance, is definitely impacting the tough ones as well. This insecurity about themselves, you know, this unclarity, like Ayush said, कि आगे क्या है, मतलब कुछ तो clarity, आर या पार, you know, this insecurity, it can actually lead to children experiment with different roles, activities, and behaviors. Some of them might be unwanted. Okay, I'm not saying this for everyone, but by and large, this is a phase when children tend to do this. Now, talking about children who have different abilities, you know, special needs children. Some children might need clarity and certainty with scheduling, you know, so beforehand, you know, they need to be told that, okay, so parents would have prepared them, you know, for the boards, ki, you know, essay exam hoga, is then exam hoga. Now, so with the sudden change in the schedule, parents might be facing difficulties explaining the change, and the child himself or herself would be in so much of distress. For some students who would have taken the exams with provisions, you know, they would have prepared accordingly. But now with the unsure time of the board exams, they would be facing again a lot of challenges, right? What can we do as parents? I think the only word that comes to my mind is listen. You know, it is a powerful tool, you know, yet very underappreciated tool, you know, that we don't really pay attention to. What as parents we do, we are more oriented toward directives and solutions. ऐसा कर लो, वैसा कर लो, you know. But अगर हम यही अपनी tendencies को थोड़ा side में रख के सिर्फ उनकी बात सुन लें, what they are saying, just listen to them, just listen. Keep your mouth quiet, just listen to them. It can actually strengthen the relationship. You know, asking specific questions, ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हो, वो क्यों कर रहे हो. Children tend to feel judged, and you know, therefore they are hesitant to speak openly and honestly. शांति से सुनेंगे, सो आपका इंटरेस्ट दिखेगा एज पेरेंट्स, सपोर्ट मिलेगा उनको. सो एक्टिव लिसनिंग जो होती है, एक वो अच्छा बॉन्ड फॉर्म करती है. दिस इज अ ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड solution, and to all parents out there, I'm sure most of them would be trying this, but for those who still haven't got used to this, get used to listening. You know, let us not adopt it as either my way or the highway attitude. If at all you have to say no, then tell them why you are saying no before they ask you this question, right? कोई चीज कोई पूछता है, हमारा आंसर क्या होता है? नो. बहुत, you know, with a lot of pressure and बहुत साउंड इफेक्ट के साथ हम बोलते हैं नहीं. क्या कभी हमने इसी चीज को, जब कोई बच्चा अच्छा काम करते हैं, तो क्या हम ऐसे बोलते हैं, अरे वाह शाबाश बेटे? हम क्या बोलते हैं? अरे वाह वेरी गुड. क्यों हम उस फोर्स से नहीं बोलते हैं? क्यों हम नो को ही उस फोर्स से बोलते हैं? राइट? सो दीज लिटिल थिंग्स. बहुत अनप्रिडिक्टेबल होता है बच्चों का बिहेवियर, बड़ा इम्पल्सिव भी हमें लगता है, बट दैट्स आवर लेबल दैट जो हम उन्हें देते हैं. इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ देयर ग्रोइंग अप. वी हैव गॉन थ्रू दिस, राइट? सो Acha, next thing what I wanted to talk about was the social interactions. This lack of social interaction is leading children into being loners. हमारे पास सिटीज में बच्चों के पास मोबाइल फोन है, स्मॉल टाउन्स में भी है, बट बहुत बच्चे हैं जिनके पास अभी भी एक्सेस नहीं है. सोशल इंटरेक्शन तो छोड़ो, मतलब क्लासरूम को ही एक्सेस नहीं है, तो वो पढ़ेंगे कहाँ से? पढ़ेंगे नहीं तो एग्जाम्स कहाँ से देंगे, राइट? सो एज पेरेंट्स एंड सिबलिंग्स, हमारी ड्यूटी बनती है कि हम उनके पहले फ्रेंड्स बनने की कोशिश करें, and act like parents when we have to. Involve करो उनको conversations में, उनके opinions लीजिए. Decision making उन्हीं के लिए नहीं, but you know, small family matters में भी आप उनको include करिए. If okay, do consider their opinion. Tell them this corona phase is a long one, and even if we don't know how the next day would look like, but teach them that this phase will pass too. We have to be empathetic, not sympathetic. It is okay to have differences because we are two different individuals, but at the end of the day, I am with you, we are there with you. Don't sleep over petty fights. Resolve them before they go off to sleep. And trust me, with these little conversations, this will actually go a long way in strengthening the relationship with the child. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Swati. I think that brings in the constructive dialogue that this whole webinar was focused on. And you specifically mentioned the roles of parents and siblings. But we have very strong people like Ayush. He wants to become a lawyer, right? And what is it that these strong metropolitan students who have been engaged into reading this for almost 2 years now, just getting attached to one course for 2 years, what are the kind of engagements they can have to pass through this? Because on one end they're becoming loner, on the other end they don't have physical interactions. Everything that was normal for a teenager or a young adult, that has been sabotaged. And even if we have crossed that age, I know how chaotic that age was. And then what do you suggest? And I would after you, I would request Iqbal sir to have his point of views there, and also then Ayush. I would love to hear from him how he has been able to keep himself sailing so far, because it is really a very dreading scenario. Yeah, Swati. What can students do?
Right. So, engaging in social media is not wrong. It's not incorrect. Definitely. But how much to and when to stop? That's something that as adolescents, as children, they need to decide. And they're quite clear with that also. Metropolitan cities में बच्चों को बहुत access है चीज़ों का. Right? Still, I would advise spend this energy, channelize this energy in spending time with your family members, with your siblings. This is, one of a kind event that is happening. जब हम बिल्कुल एक ही close space में सब लोग हैं. अब इसको ये perspective है हमारा, हम इसको कैसे लेते हैं? It is difficult. Yes, it is difficult. But like I said, if we have this thing in mind that this too shall pass, right? And जैसे आयुष ने बहुत क्लियर अच्छी बात बोली थी कि some clarity from the government if we can get कि होगा या नहीं होगा. I'm sure they're also trying to figure out things, but some clarity. I really found his point valid. That या तो आप pass कर दो या आप cancel कर दो. Right. You I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Swati. I would request Iqbal sir to give his advices or suggestion what these youngsters can do to sail through this. Iqbal sir, your mic is on mute. Unmute your mic. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Ma'am Swati that we go back to our time when we people, we are 7 brothers and a sister. So we used to live in a house of 1 room, and we were spending the whole time among ourselves. And nowadays you'll find in a house there are 4 rooms and everyone is sitting in the individual room, and we have lost talking to each other, playing with each other, sharing views with each other. This is gone time nowadays. So we have to retrace it, and we have to enjoy it, and we have to learn. Actually the things go from one person to other person by the dialogue. So Swati is very right that we have to start listening to our children just for nothing. Then it should not be every time a point of his career, his views. We keep saying you are doing this wrong, you are doing that wrong. We need to have a constant kind listening. and judge where this boy is going, where this my daughter is going. And if we play together, we sit together, we dialogue together. For example, a small thing, if we start doing that, we have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, 1 or 2 meals together, and we have it for a 1 hour stretch, it will do. It will be great time, and people have done it. Many of people have done it, and that is the only source we have. We can't go out, we cannot interact with many people, so we have to save our life. That is the first choice we have to do. So in that circumstances, this comes out to be, we can get the things at home, and we are doing that. We are ordering the things at home. So only thing is, we are lacking company. To some extent, we can use social media, and the second biggest weapon is the family. You have to spend the time with the family, and you have to interact, and you share experience of your life. You will definitely learn more things with that. Ji sir.
Thank you so much, Iqbal sir. I think so. Both the teacher end of the panelists, they both are looking at the situation as a family rekindling time where you can reset your family bonds by sharing your thoughts together, by, as Iqbal sir said, just by having lunch together. Because I think those are the luxuries of real life, but maybe. But this has been too long, and now I would want to invite Ayush to give me his point of views on how, as a teenager, how is he coping through this whole situation, and as a very strong representative of student, how he has been able to engage himself with what kind of practices which has kept him sailing through this whole situation calmly.
First of all, I'd like to, really agree with Iqbal sir. Exams are very important. That is how you measure a student on how he is apart from another student. I completely agree with him. My only thing is that, maybe at this time, we are from the Indian society. In Indian society, even if a small symptom, you have a little fever, your mother is going to tell you, "Krosan khao, paper dene jao." That is the Indian society. Now, krosan khao, paper dene jao, and you don't know, when you're sitting in an exam room, sir, you need to understand 10 lakh students are going to give this exam. The current, the mortality rate of the COVID entirely is 1 to 1,000. 1 to 100. Sorry, every 1 in 1,000 person has got COVID, and 1 to 100 is the death or mortality rate. So, it will be risking not just. I have a friend who lost his father during this pandemic, and he went to school once. His parents were 60, 65. The age group is very old, but at the same time, his son, he was hardly 16-year-old. He came to school once. That's throughout the pandemic. When he went back, he got COVID, but he was okay. But his father. So we are not just risking, sir. We are not just risking, 10 lakh students, but their families as well, and that can go out to a level of the entire nation, because this is board exam is going to take place in entire nation. So second point, students' job. With this point I wanted to bring earlier also. A student's job is to study, is to learn. The board's job is to conduct the examination and, tell the students that this is what you have to study, and this is when your exams are going to take place. This is how your exams are going to take place. At this moment, I, for myself, do not know whether I do not have an admit card. Usually we get an admit card 2 months, 3 months prior to the entire thing, prior to the board examination. And right now, we don't know whether if these exams will take place, will they happen in our own school, whether they will happen in some board center, whether, these exams will take place. First of all, the question comes back, will these exams take place? It's you, me, or anybody right now just talking will not change the board's opinion on it. I never said cancel the boards, we're not right. Either do it right now or don't do it. Par par never meant he either cancel, either pass us or cancel. It was never that. It was very simple that, let's first either give, if we are having the exams, have them right now or don't. And now coming back to your question, Gaurav sir, how I went through. Personally, I spent a lot of time cooking. I used a lot of social media. I was going, I did use social media excessively, one might say, but I, used it to consume my time. I was involved. I was talking to people. I was with my family. I rather bonded with my father on playing chess. And it was a great time, but with a lot of anxiety in the back of everyone's mind, from the economic pressure, from there was this time when we were uncertain, when the lockdown was about to open. Then there was an uncertainty whether the economy, the businesses, the anything would settle back. It's just too much chaos. And as Swati ma'am said, we are adolescents. We are chaotic at the back of our mind regardless. This has created nothing. The decision, the decision that was taken has created nothing but ruckus for the 12th graders. And I say, if I'm going to take an example of Italy cancelled all their pen and paper exams. They cancelled them, and they are taking oral tests. They are taking oral tests virtually on each chapter, so they know that there is no there's no mishap that is happening. In Saudi Arabia, they cancelled exams, but they don't have as many students. In France, they have also, they are conducting online tests. And so if online classes were effective, then online exams will be equally effective. I'm personally, online classes were not very effective for me, so online exams will not be effective for me. But then if you are saying online classes were effective, then I believe online exams are also effective. And I mean, that's about it. I think I'd like to conclude that.
Great. So, this is again, rolling the ball back, that if online classes were effective, then of course why there aren't online exams? Because I think from Ayush perspective, I think that the student, they are really tired of this class, and Ayush is presenting them, and I think they just want that this, let it be, let it happen anyway, maybe online. And maybe that becomes like a strong avenue for at least taking care of this one situation. Right now we know COVID, this whole pandemic has multi-layered problem. At least one layer would be taken care of if we can request government to start looking for conducting online exams, also be providing all the students clear information about how this board exam would be and what would be the next step of getting into the college. So from this, I would love to thank all the distinguished panelists here. Ayush, you've been great in voicing out the real authentic anxiety that is there. Iqbal sir, all your insights added so much of color to the whole webinar. And Swati ma'am, I think all your insights were also made the whole webinar a lot more meaningful. And with that, I would conclude this webinar, and I would thank everybody who joined this panel. And thank you.